Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where I opened up the game today and my mouse happened to be over our flag up here in the corner. Turns out Israel has a defensive pact with us. Huh. That's interesting, considering we are Israel. I don't know what's going on with that one, but sure. For now, we're working on some construction, of course. We've got a railway going into Israeli Niger, and we need to deal with the problem that we created last episode, which is our bureaucracy. So we currently have a bunch of government administrations queued up, and these are not going to be efficient to build, but we need to get as much bureaucracy going as we can. And the idea here is I'm not going to build more bureaucracy, at least for now, than what we have queued up here. But our railway in Israeli Niger is finishing now. And we need to just hammer through these government administrations for the time being. That is what is needing to happen right now. So we'll get that going. That sounds fine. We've got no shortage of market goods at the moment, although we've got a lot of transportation shortages. We're not surprised about that one, and we're slowly working our way through those transportation shortages. They're getting better. We're down to 19 of them. So that's something anyway. So you'll note here, we've got a pretty big deficit going right now. Market control in Armenia. Yeah, that's fine. You can have that. So we've got a pretty big deficit going right now, and a lot of that is because of our unrealized taxes. That is something we absolutely need to handle. There's an explosives shortage. We do have explosives factories, and our explosives factories are on an old process. We should probably change that. We can also upgrade our food industries, which I'm going to do. We'll do that, and no upgrade here. Okay, that seems good for now. And then we definitely want to come down to our explosives factories and go to the ammonia soda process. That's going to be fine, I think. Our artillery foundry can go to smoothbores. It doesn't really change much, but let's do it. And then as far as these go, we can take these to nitroglycerin. I usually like to skip nitroglycerin because this is a lot of mortality. It's a lot better to just go straight for dynamite, and we're currently researching dynamite after the rotary valve engine, so we'll have that soon enough. We'll just skip that for the moment. Okay, so we just finished a government administration, and we're just going to keep working on these government administrations. Eventually, I don't necessarily expect that we're going to be able to hire into all of these government administrations immediately, to be clear. I don't think that's going to happen. But for now, I just want to deal with our deficit at least a little bit. So let's get this iron mine in Eritrea finished up, and then we're going to just hammer through these government administrations as of right now. So that's looking good. Bahrain is damaging relations with us. They're antagonistic. That's these guys. That seems ambitious considering we're friends with Ukraine. Okay, I'm not sure what they're up to, but whatever. For right now, we need to get these government administrations wrapped up. The Great Train Smash? Everyone enjoy the spectacle. It'll be fine. So we're down to minus 545 bureaucracy now, and we're still working our way through this. It's going to take some time. We know that that's the case, but we gotta get these integrations going as soon as possible. They take, in most cases, they're taking us 20 years. That's a fifth of the game, to be clear. 20 years is a fifth of the Victoria time period. That's huge. Absolutely insane. So we gotta get these built. Our GDP is continuing to come up. It's not tremendously skyrocketing yet, but it's looking a lot better, and our deficit has improved. We must have gotten a privatization at some point. Our credit is not as high as I expected it to be. So that's good. We'll continue to hammer through these government administrations, even with the increased construction efficiency. It's really bad in Campania, but even with the increased construction efficiency, government administrations don't take that long to build. So we'll just hammer through them, we'll get it done, and that's what we need to do, I feel like. We're taking the temporary hit, and it'll pay off ultimately. So that'll be great. So our deficit is down to 432 at this point. It seems like these are hiring in fairly well, doesn't it? Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I mean, they're not perfect, but they're definitely hiring. Okay. I like it. We're down under 400 for our deficit now. So at this point, we just want to wrap up these 4 government administration constructions and then get back to work on our real constructions that we want to work on, which is the railways, the logging camps, all of this stuff. The coal mines, all of that's going to be very useful for us eventually. I see the steel mill going in, and I love it. We definitely need more steel. So that's noted. We're very close at this point, I think, to being able to pull positive in our balance here. We're technically positive right now, but this is fake. We just started up a new government administration. We're not getting billed for that yet. That's the real number there. Or real-ish. Real-ish. Okay, 7.5, sure. But you can see our unrealized taxes here are a significant portion of that. Now, some of this tax waste is not just due to our bureaucracy. Some of this is due to our radicalism, and that's understood. But a lot of it is, in fact, due to our bureaucracy. We have cut our bureaucracy deficit in half, so that is very solid. We've got 2 more government administrations to make here. Ooh, a paper mill. I like it. That's very solid. So we're very happy to see a paper mill going in at this point. And yeah, this is going to continue to improve here, this bureaucracy. We may need another government administration or 2 in the semi-near future, but for the time being... Oh, first aid and modern nursing. Okay. We would definitely like to be boosting our population growth, but for now it's okay. So I don't want to build more government administrations in the, like, short term. In the medium term, we're probably going to need to build a couple more. Because we also need to figure that we need to be working up our institutions. But I only want to do so much of this right now. So for now, this is fine. And we can see our GDP is pushing towards that 13 million marker. So that's good. We're going to finish up this last government administration. And the question is, where is that going to put our bureaucracy at? So we're currently at 209, but we're probably not fully hired in. And if we check in here, we can see, yeah, there's definitely some areas where we can work on that. We're running an explosives shortage, but that should be absorbed by our existing manufacturing. I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, so taking a look at this, I'm just wondering about whether these are hiring in. So this is at 1.1k, this is at 2k. Let's give it a week tick here, and we'll take a look. It looks like this is trying to hire. 1.4. This is not. Satisfied with their current employment. Okay. For the moment, that's understood. I do want to build 2 more government administrations, but these are going to be built in Palestine. And I put them at the top of the queue here. They'll build very quickly. I'm going to move this railway up. I'm going to put this logging camp here. Okay. I still want to be focused on the railways and the other constructions. I just want to get a little bit of extra bureaucracy coming in here. This will be enough to guaranteed bring us out of bureaucracy deficit. So that's absolutely fine. And with them being in Palestine, we can basically guarantee that they're going to hire to maximum. So that sounds good. That'll give us a small surplus of bureaucracy, and we can continue to work up that surplus of bureaucracy and hopefully start moving up some of these institutions, because that would be really, 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 really nice. We would definitely like to work up literally every single one of these institutions. Nationalism has been unlocked. That gives us extra authority. We could spend that authority on consumption taxes. We can get one of them, and wine is not a terrible consumption tax to put in here, actually. So for now, that seems reasonably okay. But we do need to get out of debt here. We've got a bunch of little guys that are belligerent towards us, which is interesting. Armenia returned control of their market to us. Okay. So that's neat. So our paper mill in Syria is finishing now, and we did finish up one of those government administrations. You can see we are positive in our bureaucracy, but we have a lot more work to do on that bureaucracy. We want to work up all of those institutions, and we want to do that relatively quickly. So that's going to be a bit of a problem for us. For the time being, let's get this logging camp and railway combo finished up, and then that will bring us to the government administration. That'll get built quite quickly, and you can see we're barely running a deficit right now. We want to get that flipped around to a surplus, and that will happen quite soon here. Our current debt is under 100K, so I'm really not concerned about that. But we're very, very close to flipping this to a surplus. Is that a real surplus there? That might be a real surplus. Real-ish. It's real adjacent. Okay, that's fine. So, we're at about 65 bureaucracy at this point. We're going to finish up another government administration fairly soon. And how much is it going to cost us for each of these? Oh, that's expensive. 282 per level. Yikes. Okay, so that's incredibly expensive. No doubt about that. Our logging camps in Kordofan are finishing, and that government administration is going to be done very shortly. Now, this is not a real surplus at this point. Let's see what the actual number is. Okay, that is potentially a real surplus. But we're going to finish up the government administration here. We're not going to have a real idea for another couple of weeks. Let's see what we've got here. 1.28? $660. This might be flipped around to running a surplus. I think it is. I think that's a real surplus at this point. We're only spending $217 in interest, so paying off our debt isn't that big of a deal, but we want to get the debt paid off, and then our next move is to expand our construction. We want to keep our construction to where we're just barely running a surplus. So that means we'll expand our construction by 1, but not for a while. So we'll get our debt paid off. That's currently like 70 weeks away, right? So at the current rate, that's going to take some time. I don't love how much each of these investments cost. That's pretty spicy, no doubt about that. But we're going to get a lot of extra bureaucracy relatively soon-ish. And that's going to be when we change over to like telephones and the like. That's going to be actually quite a ways in the future still. We've got a while on that one, but it's going to be a big, big boost to us for sure. So currently, what is our plan at the moment? Well, we need to be boosting up our construction. Steel frame buildings are not invented yet. Did I see that they were being exposed to us? Where is steel frame buildings? It's in here somewhere. Right? That's under production? Reinforced concrete would boost our construction sector throughput, and then that leads to pneumatic tools, which gives us access to that. And then arc welding is down here. So arc welding is arc welded buildings. That's definitely further along. That's the Bessemer process there. Where is steel frame buildings? It's in here somewhere, I think. Is that under society? I don't think it is. That would be a really weird place to put it. It's here. Okay, never mind. It is here. So this is not being exposed to us at this time. That's understood. Now, our technology progress is probably not great at this moment. Actually, yeah, it's not great. We could definitely use more universities. But we're not surprised about that. We've had other problems up until this point. Now, our gold reserves are positive. We're out of debt. So at this point, I actually want to get us a construction sector. All of our construction sectors are really spread out. I don't love that. Okay, let's put this in, I think, maybe not Lombardy. I'm thinking about a location that is... Syria could work. Okay, let's get that going. So this is going to be painful economically. Well, it's going to be really good for us economically. It's going to be painful fiscally. Let me put it that way. But we definitely want to start expanding out our construction sectors and building faster. That's going to be a very big deal for us. Our GDP is beginning to explode at this point. We're up to 13.4 million. We're just starting the upward trend. But as you can see, we are at number 12. We're falling a little bit behind others, and that's fine. We won't be for long. So at this point, the UK wants to be friends. Done. We can be friends with the UK. That is delightful. Okay, so we can see we're running a deficit. We're not surprised about that. We want to keep doing that. We want to keep running a very, very small deficit or neutral. I don't really want to be running a surplus, if at all possible. I want to be investing all of our money back into our construction. That's the best way to go about this at this time. So we expanded out our construction sector. Each construction sector is 5 construction at this time. That's not a lot of construction. Portugal. Yes, we'll be friends with Portugal. What do they want us to do here? A diplomatic play against Anatolikon? No. We're going to pass on that one. Empty pockets, huh? 2% of pops in Palestine becoming more loyalist? Done. We will take loyalists. That will be delightful. As of right now, you can see we've been fairly steady on our loyalists and radicals. It's been very, very, very steady. We're not having that run away on us, but we're also not really fixing the problem. So that's noted. I wouldn't mind a law change, but I don't think there's really a good law change for us to go for right now. I'm pretty happy with what we have, all things considered. Really, what we need to be working on is institutions. But for that, we need more bureaucracy. So that's noted. Unfortunately, boosting our government wages does not give us more bureaucracy. It gives us more authority. So I don't think that's a good thing to do at this time. An explosives shortage will be dealt with. That's not a major concern. Okay, so we're back to running a small surplus at this time. So that means it's time to continue to build. And I'm going to continue to do this in Syria for right now. I want to stack these together because these do get economy of scale, correct? Yes, up to level 20. So we want to get that done. And I put it at the bottom of the queue for some reason. Let's put it right up there at the top. Perfect. So anytime we notice that we're consistently running a surplus while constructing at full bore, that means that we absolutely want to expand our construction. That said, I want to point out, we're reliant on private construction right now. We'll run a big deficit if private construction were to stop building. And we're not in control over whether they choose to build or not. They might privatize things, right? So that's absolutely understood. For the time being, though, I'm absolutely happy continuing to expand out our construction. That said, we might want to consider going for steel frame buildings fairly soon, because that'll be very expensive. And will more than double our construction. So instead of expanding our construction at this point, we may want to build up some finances, and instead of doing dynamite, go for steel frame buildings and then dynamite. Like this. And rotary valve engine, that's a ways away still. And I'm kind of thinking about switching directly to steel frame buildings right now. Then doing rotary valve engine, then doing dynamite. Something like that. Now, we could definitely use getting some universities. There's no doubt about that. We can get innovations almost double what we have right now. we need 51 additional innovations. So each of our universities are going to be giving us 1 innovation at this time. Only 1? That's insane. What do we got for our production methods there? Okay, we don't have dialectics yet. That's the issue. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely a problem. How close are we to getting that? Well, currently being exposed is dialectics has some progress in it. Psychiatry is what's being exposed right now. Okay. We have progress in it, but it's not currently being exposed. So I think what we should do is we should build a couple of universities. I want to build like 1 level of university in each state, ideally, ultimately, for that plus 10% qualifications. But I'm not sure how that actually works. Is that a state level thing? I think it is. So I'd like to have at least 1 level in each state, but for now, I'm going to queue up 2. This is minus 29%. Is that due to just radicalism? Turmoil, yeah. Okay, so I'm actually... This is still at 19 weeks. That's not too bad. I think I want to build in states that don't have turmoil, though, at this moment. So if we go to here, we can see 29%, but Aleppo would be a better place to do it. So I'm going to move up this railway to here, then I'm going to put this logging camp here, and we'll build 2 universities for right now. We will want more eventually, but for the time being, 2 universities will do, and we want some base level qualifications coming in. So that'll be relatively fine. That all seems good, and this is going to be done in 20 weeks, as is this railway, actually. So this seems good at this point. What is going on here? Revolution in Anatolia. Oh, these guys again. Okay. Well, last time we didn't actually need to go help them. So I'm not going to. Yeah, this is already at 100. We'll keep an eye on this. If we need to send forces to help them, we will. But I think Armenia's got that. That's the theory, anyway. So I'm not going to send anybody up there right now. As of this moment, that looks good. So we're going to get this railway built in Israeli Croatia. That seems fine. And this railway in Israeli Outer Hausaland. So this is turmoil, right? Unincorporated, actually. Okay. Well, Campania is apparently incorporated now, so let's move that up. And then we will just move this guy right on down. And that will replace this railway in Israeli Outer Hausaland for now. And we can have this go down, you know, something kind of like this. So that can go down to here, and that's absolutely fine for now. So we just want to keep buying time there for that. Now, we're only at 192 for our bureaucracy rate. If we were to go into our government administration right now and check, we can see we're definitely having some areas that could hire in more. But I think for the moment, it's reasonably fine. We have no taxation capacity issues at this time, and that seems good. Our average tax waste is really low now. Our unrealized taxes are only £269 per week, so that's not a big deal. I do absolutely want to move up some of these institutions, but our institution cost is going up as we get these integrated, and that's absolutely understood. Now, you can see here we're constructing 3 at once, and that's causing us to be in a deficit because we're only constructing 1 private construction right now. That's not very surprising. We knew that this was going to happen. But it looks like they did some privatization and built us up a good gold reserve, so we can definitely deficit spend for quite a long time there with no problem. Canneries have been unlocked, leading to mechanized workshops, which will probably be useful. But for now, we can go for canned meat and canned fish. So let's go to our workshops here. Or rather, not our workshops, our food industries. We can go to canned meat or canned fish. Canned fish is slightly better for us, so let's do that. Perfect. And yeah, they've got this under control. Armenia does not need our help. As already done. Perfect. chemical bleaching is now spreading to us. Okay, paper bleaching would be useful, so that's not a bad thing. Now, we do have this university coming in, and you can see if we look in here that we now have 52 innovations instead of 51. Our universities suck. They're terrible. But I want to get at least a couple of them going. We don't need a huge number of them because we are going to make them a lot more efficient later. But right now, our tech is definitely problematic. We've been pretty much ignoring our tech entirely. And that's good. We're going to pay for that. We're absolutely going to pay for that. So logging camps in Venice are going to be done very shortly here. That seems great. And then that university in Abruzzo is going to continue to be worked on. They're just so inefficient right now. One innovation is a terrible amount of innovations. It's just absolutely abysmal. I don't know why we're getting one innovation either. We should be getting two, according to what I'm reading here. If we go into the production methods, we can see that we are on scholastic education, which should give us actually 3 innovation and 30% qualifications. I guess that's just from the overall number here. Odd that it would do it that way. Yeah, that must be what's going on. That's the total modifiers. Okay, I was just reading it wrong. Never mind. That's fine. We definitely want to work on getting the dialectics department going. That would take 28 months to research. I'm going to put that at the beginning of the queue. Can we do that? Apparently, we'd have to recreate the queue. Okay. Well, we'll do that. We'll do this, then we'll do this, then we'll do this, then we'll do this. That's going to take a while, to be sure. But getting dialectics done will be a good investment for us, for sure. Industrial barriers. This unequal treatment shall not stand. Okay. We need to be doing some populism to get our loyalists up, so that would definitely be a good thing. As of right now, of course, we just finished up another university, so that puts us at about 53 innovations. And we need to work that up. Our literacy has been slowly improving, but we definitely need to do work on that too. Okay, it just dropped a chunk. That's probably due to a state being incorporated. Yeah, you can see here, when factoring in our unincorporated states, we're at 23%. So that's definitely not ideal. Let's get this logging camp built, and then we're going to work on these 2 railways for a while. We're not currently... Okay, there's a second private construction going on. So we're at minus 740. I'm okay with this. We've got lots of gold in the reserves. We can just continue to build for a very long time. We are going to start getting to these points where we're at significant construction efficiency reduction. No doubt about it. And that'll happen sooner rather than later. But that's okay. We can check into some of these states down here. We can see this is incorporated. This is 16 months away. This is 6 months away. This one is apparently not incorporated because it's a growing colony. Gotcha. Minus 55%. Why did we lose a bunch of bureaucracy? Well, this is probably also because we got some incorporations finished. You can see here that that big drop almost certainly means that we got incorporations finishing up. So that means that our institution cost is higher. Yep. And that's exactly what happens there. So that means we need more government administrations. And where do we want to build these? Ideally, places with peasants. I'm going to do it here and here. So we'll just get a couple of those going. I want this railway here, this railway here. Okay, so one government administration will bring us back to positive, but we just need to keep hammering these things out for now. That'll be good. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to work on our bureaucracy, and we're also going to continue to work on expanding our economy, which is definitely trending upwards. But we've got more work to do on that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.